Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house or in your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HT content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn your back and tell you sorry, try again, Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hood Table. One more again, it's your girl back with another court review of the Diddy trial, and we are on day 11. So come on in, make sure you like and share the video, subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new here, and of course, as always, if you want to donate to the commentary or to the platform, feel free. $the Hood Table 402 is the Cash App, or feel free to hit that super chat, y'all. Now, everybody in the neighborhood is cutting their lawn today. So hopefully you don't hear the background noise. I don't have any windows open, but it's like 3 houses around me is all cutting their grass. And I think they're all copying off of me because my lawn guy did ours this morning. But it always works out like that. As soon as we get our lawn cut, it just seems like right after that, it's like a ripple effect, a domino effect in our neighborhood. But my yard gets cut on clockwork every 10 days. I don't have to call them. They don't have to call me. They come cut the yard. They text me every 10 days, say they're done. I send them the Cash App, and I see them again in 10 more days. Okay? Unless it rains or it's a holiday or something like that. But yeah, so come on in. Let's get ready to get through these transcripts. It was, I think, 3 people on the stand today, and I think they have a few more witnesses left. We're going to get into the other witnesses towards the end because what I heard was that they only have like maybe 2 more weeks left of the trial as far as the prosecutors. And so far, the defense hasn't... people are wondering, where are the witnesses for the defense? Because everybody who's been on the stand is from the prosecutor, people they found and subpoenaed. So I'm like, is the defense, is they gonna have anybody at all? Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, you ain't got nobody to testify on behalf of your client. Like, ain't that crazy? What up, Cosmic Girl? How you doing, boo? I'm like, ain't that crazy? Who out there is going to testify on behalf of Diddy? Is there not anybody out there who can say that this guy, he ain't really that bad? He a little freaky, but he ain't do this and he ain't did this, and no racketeering and no prostitution and no coercion and no arson and no, like, where is the defense witnesses? Child, I'm just, I don't know. I don't know. As big as this case is, for them not to have any witnesses, it's very alarming, but also very telling. Like, what can you say to make this guy look any nicer or any better than he's looking right now to the entire world? Not just the jury, but to the entire world. Okay? Ain't a damn thing. He could go to Africa and to the poorest country around the world and get him $1 million, and people will still be like, that nigga ain't shit. After this trial, he ain't gonna never be shit again. Like, people gonna always get him the side eye. Like, nah, nigga, you like to kidnap people. Nah, nigga, you like to have people piss on people. Nah, nigga, you like to... Don't put me anywhere in any type of space with him alone. That's how I would feel if I had to work with him or anything after this. Whew. Yes, but they said they haven't even mentioned any names. That's why people's like, who are they going to get to be their witness? Because we knew already all the people the prosecutors was going to use. So why don't we know who the defense is going to use? Why is it a secret? Mm-hmm. I don't know, child. But anyway, we got a lot to go through as normal. We have a lot to go through. They had a few people testify at first, which you guys probably already seen, and that was the LAPD, the LAFD, and then they had Deontay Nash. And you know, he was a stylist for Diddy and Cassie. So he worked with them for some years and he witnessed a lot of things. And he took the stand today. He was on there for quite some time. Before the judge adjourned for the day. So we're going to get right in. I hope y'all got y'all popcorn. As always, I got my drink and my water so I can make sure I keep my throat quenched. Okay. So I don't be parched. All right. So we're going to get through this. And while we're going through this, we'll chit chat in between. But, you know, I try not to make it too long because it's a lot to read through. So I try not to keep y'all here too long. But yeah, we'll chit chat and do commentary in between the transcripts. But let me pull them up real quick. And again, make sure you guys like and share the video, please and thank you. Oh, and y'all, I got a new mic stand, by the way. I'm so happy. You know how you just get new shit? It could be something that's so small as a new mic stand, and you're so happy because little do y'all know my mic stand that I've had for years. I mean, for years. It done gave out. It done tapped out. I was nigger rigging it. Y'all should have seen me nigger rigging this mic to come live to talk to y'all every time I came live. Or every time I did an upload. Y'all should have seen me. But anyway, I got a new mic. It got here from Amazon the other day, so I'm very excited about that. No more nigger rigging. But anyway, let's get into this transcripts. So let's see. Okay, so again, we're at day 11 of the Diddy trial. The LAPD, the FDLA, also Maya, who's supposed to be the fourth victim, she is supposed to testify. Nash testified today. And by the way, out of all the people who already testified, we had Diddy's mother. I mean, not Diddy's mother. Oh, Lord, forgive me. We had Cassie's mother. We had, I think it was like 16 people so far. Was it 16? I don't want to make sure I miss anybody. Okay. So, people, they called Kid Cudi, of course, we know that was the other day. They called Cassie's mother. They called 2 of Diddy's assistants. They called 2 other escorts, dancers, prostitutes, whatever you want to call them. They called Cassie's ex-best friend. They called Carrie, who else? Who else did they call? I don't want to miss anybody. But and then of course they got Nash today. Oh, they called Capricorn yesterday. They called some detectives. They called a doctor who could testify against abuse, expert of abuse. Who else did they call to testify? I can't remember. But it was a lot of people. Okay, they got a lot of people in there already. So again, hold on. Deontay Nash, he took the trial. He took the stand today. And let's see. Yeah, we heard from 5 who testified at home was violent towards Cassie, 2 employees, 2 escorts, 2 federal agents, Cassie's mom, Capricorn, her ex-best friend. Yeah, Carrie Morgan. Okay, yeah. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot of people who's already testified, and they said they still got like 2 weeks left. Oh yeah, Israel. Can't forget Israel. Israel, the hotel security guard. He also testified as well. Israel Flores. That's his name. And Daniel, he was one of the escorts. Cassie's mom. Of course, Cassie. Yasmin, the federal agent. Don testified as well. Danity Kane. So yeah, it was about 16. David was his personal assistant. Regina, Cassie's mother. Sheree was the other male escort. Gerald was another federal agent. Don Hughes was an expert witness. That's the one who was a doctor who they didn't want to testify. George Kaplan, the former personal assistant. Scott or Kid Cudi, he testified. Mila, the makeup artist. Frederick Zimmer, the hotel manager. Joshua, the special agent. So yeah, it's been like 16 people who already testified. That's a lot. That's a lot. So anyway, let's get right into this. Okay, so prosecutors at the beginning of the trial this morning, prosecutor says Chef Jordan was going to testify last week, but between Cassie's mother and the agent Gerald, but she hasn't testified yet. So I wonder if she's going to be testifying this week because they mentioned her name this morning. Y'all remember she was a chef? Remember one of the assistants had put hands on her. So she's supposed to testify as well of what she witnessed. But anyway, before the jury was brought in this morning, the judge said, let's address this. All the government is saying is that the message shows Cassie's state of mind. Okay, let's see. What was they discussing? Hold on. Okay, so they saying Chef is Jordan Atkinson, and they're not clear when she'll testify or if she'll testify. And then of course Maya was victim number 4. Okay. So anyway, they said the problem, Diddy's attorney said that's the problem with not being able to recall Cassie as a witness. So they want to recall Cassie as a witness, Diddy's attorney, but they're not allowing Cassie to be recalled as a witness. So the government attorney says all Mr. Nash will quote because they were really specific, Diddy's attorney, on what they did not want to hear from Nash. And they wanted to, if he gets on the stand and discusses certain things, they wanted to recall Cassie. But the government attorney said, all Mr. Nash will quote is, he's making me freak off on my birthday. She didn't want to go. So that's the only quote. Remember, Cassie said she had to freak off on her birthday. Other witnesses also said he made her freak off on her birthday and she didn't want to do it. So Combs attorney Shapiro says, a spouse might say, he's making me go to the Rangers game. I'd rather not tonight. So the judge said, you could have cross-examined Cassie about that. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed the boat. Y'all missed the train. Why didn't y'all ask Cassie about that before? That's what the judge is saying. So anyway, they could have raised those issues before in pre-trial, but they didn't. So the judge says, let's bring the jury in, all rise. The government called first on the witness stand, LAPD officer Christopher Ignacio. What is a radio call? Someone calls 911 and it gets sent to available LAPD unit on Diddy. And of course, the government is, questioning him first. So the government asked, what's a radio call? He said, when someone calls 911, you get sent to the next available LAPD unit on duty, and they show up to the scene. The judge says, let's bring our jury in. I already read that. Sorry. So the government attorney says, on December 22nd, 2011, what was your shift? 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. in a marked police car. What do you remember? Got a call around 8 a.m., code 3 with lights and sirens to 8925 Hollywood Hills Road. What did you find there? An Escalade. I memorized the license plates. Why? I thought it could be involved in a crime the way it left as soon as we got there. Why didn't you go after it? We didn't have a crime yet. The front door was unlocked. We went in. What did you see? High-end watches and purses, some wrapped, some unwrapped. 2 detectives showed up. When we came out, I saw the same black Escalade now driving down the hill. Now, of course, these cops are testifying to the arson allegations from Kid Cudi. Okay, so the government says you ran the plate of the Escalade? Yes, and it came back as bad boy records. The government says no further questions. Cross-examination, Diddy's attorney, Brian Steele, comes up. This was 13 years ago, right? Yes. So you read your partner's report? Yes. The streets, there are dead ends. Ignacio, according to the map. It's a beautiful neighborhood, right? Cul-de-sac, Ignacio, sure. You don't follow the car as it drives away, right? Right. Did you see a Porsche? I don't know. Do you know the definition of a kidnapping? Objection from the government. Judge sustained. Were you told the homeowner was in the house shortly before you and your partner got there? Objection. Judge overruled. The door was unlocked. Yes. There was no furniture appended, right? No. You called it a trespass, not a burglary, right? Because objection. The government just cut them off. The judge, I think, sustained. Still, no report of theft? No. Diddy's attorney still goes on. If you thought there was a gun in the Escalade, you could have put out a bolo, right? Objection from the government. Judge overruled. You didn't, right? Right. Any mention of security cameras? I saw some. Mr. Cuddy wasn't hyperventilating, right? He was tense, I say. Did you search his porch? No. It was 8:20 a.m., not 6:30 a.m., right? Right. Nothing further. And no redirect. So the government calls the next investigator, which is the LA arson investigator, Lance Jimenez. And they told him, I'll place a binder in front. The government asked Lance, how many files have you investigated? And I'm sorry, I said files, my bad. How many fires have you investigated? Jimenez says 100 a year. Everything between mansions to dumpster fires. LA is pretty crazy. Did you respond as an expert to an auto fire at 8925 Hollywood Hills Road? Yes. There was a cut in the roof of the Porsche. What about inside the Porsche? Burn patterns inside. Any items? A bottle on the front seat. A handkerchief burned and a lighter on the ground. What hypothesis did you draw from this scene? Mulatto cocktail. That's what the fire investigator said. How did you think it got in? Someone lit it, cut the roof, and dropped it in. Let me show you some photos. This is the black Porsche that was burned. Yes. What kind of bottle was used? An Old English. Y'all remember that Old E? Oh my God, we used to drink Old E all the time. That Old English 800 malt liquor. And the wick, a designer type of scarf. Silky. In my opinion, this was targeted. The partial DNA profile, was it consistent with a female contributor? I was told that. Do you know what it means? No. Do you know if it's possible to touch an item without leaving DNA? Objection. Judge sustained. What happened to the print cards? They were destroyed in 2012. On whose orders? Someone in LAPD. Not you or anyone on your team. I'm going to object to all of this. This is Diddy's attorney. I'm going to object to all of this. Can we please have a sidebar? Diddy's attorney ain't going. Yes, Cosmic Girl. You cannot grow up in the hood without knowing about OE. Okay? Yes, that's what everybody used to dream. We used to buy them by the crates. Okay, we used to buy them by the crates, have them for parties. Everybody had a 40. I mean, I'm telling you. And it was crazy because me and my homegirls back in the day, right? We would go rolling around. You know how you be parking lot pimping. I'm sure y'all heard that term before. But we had areas in our city where, just like any other city, where you pull up, your girls, you all did up and hair done and all that kind of shit, looking cute. And the guys, they also there with their homies, they looking cute. And you know, all that kind of stuff. And everybody got their drink of choice. They smokes, whatever. I used to drink Coke 45 too. We used to drink the 15 pack. Girl, don't get me started. Please don't get me started. Matter of fact, a lot of my friends do not mess with the 4-5. They don't. It was like me and my cousin Tiffany. Y'all, well, some of y'all have met her before because she's been on the show before. Me and my cousin Tiff, we used to be the ones to drink the 4-5. Okay, so but we have 40s too. A lot of people drunk 40s, and I'm telling you, we would buy like a whole case and put them in the trunk, put them on ice, and go parking lot pimping, and just be walking around with 40 ounces. I'd never forget that shit. I look back now, I'm like, what the fuck was I doing with a 40 ounce? Like, that's so unladylike. But it wasn't nothing for girls in the hood. You remember Boys in the Hood? What's her name? What's the one that was always walking around with the 40 ounce? Was it Regina King? Man, yes. We used to walk around with the 40 ounces. We'll have our cigarettes, have our whatever, Black and Miles. Man, we were so ghetto. But anyway. So they said they used a 40 ounce of OE. Now, he also said not nobody on your team ordered the print cards destroyed. He said someone in LAPD, and that's when Diddy's attorney said, I'm going to object to all of this. Can we have a sidebar? So they had a sidebar, and after the sidebar, which I heard was very long, they said it was a really long sidebar. The judge said, jurors, we are trying to sync up. Why don't we take a break? That's how long the sidebar was. The judge was like, you know what? Go take a break. Go use the bathroom. Go get a snack. Go have a smoke. You know, just don't have no OE. You said it was nothing. It was nothing to be holding a 40 ounce. Nothing at all, child. And it was so cool. You thought you was so cool if you drank a 40 ounce. Like, ain't no pouring it in a bottle. I mean, a glass. Ain't no pouring it in a cup unless you really didn't want to share with somebody. If you was sharing a 40 ounce, I don't like to share. I never did. Like when I used to smoke, and it's been like 16 years since I quit. But when I used to smoke, I didn't like sharing cigarettes. I didn't like sharing anything that I put my lips on, not beer, not pop, not water. And I'm still like that. So I might pour somebody a glass, and you got to be really careful with the 40s, right? Because you got to tip the cup really well and tip the bottle just right. So you don't get all that foam at the top. Boy, yeah, hey, I know all about it. Come on. I know all about it. But so after the long sidebar, the judge said take a break to the jury. Combs, he exited too. He left. The marshals took him out, placed him in a holding cell. So after it was time to come back in, they got Diddy, they got the jury. The judge says to the prosecuting attorney, what was the purpose of getting into that? And the prosecutor said they are questioning the investigation, so we're entitled to ask that. And the judge says, when I heard the questions, I assumed there was going to be a line of cross-examination about the fingerprint cards, like about the DNA, but that does not appear to be the case. So I'm thinking of telling the jurors to disregard. And so Diddy's attorney says, this is outrageous. You know, he's pissed. This is outrageous. We are considering what remedies to ask for. Let me speak to my colleagues. So Diddy's attorney wanted to speak to the colleagues. They implied that someone in this courtroom was responsible for the destruction of the fingerprint cards. That's what Diddy's attorney is trying to say, that the government is trying to imply that somebody in the courtroom destroyed the fingerprint card. And that's when the judge says, you know what, fuck this shit. We taking a recess. Ooh, I couldn't be a judge in certain I can't be a juror, but a judge? Boy, I know them judges. I know they nerves be bad. That's why they make so much money. They make a lot of money. Them judges do, for real, for real. They got so much. Them judges, man, they got like beautiful homes, beautiful cars. All their kids be going to college, paid for, no loans. They make a lot of money, right? But anyway, moving right along. So after they came back from the recess, the judge says, my intent is to strike from the record any testimony about the fingerprint cards and the destruction of them. I will note that the only answers were what the witness knew about the destruction. I sustained to the objection to it was abnormal. Diddy's attorney, Shapiro. We are going to move for a mistrial at this time. Whoa, when I heard this, my whole title of my show had to change. Because when I heard people talking about this on the blogs, because while I'm working, okay? I'm watching my TV in my office. I'm keeping tuned in and stuff, but I can't see and hear everything, right, while I'm working. But I heard that shit. Everybody was talking about it. They said Diddy's attorney is trying to get the judge to call a mistrial because of the DNA. So Diddy's attorney said, we are going to move for a mistrial at this time based on the prosecutorial misconduct. I can barely get that word out. He wanted a mistrial based on the prosecutorial misconduct that has occurred because he claims they're trying to, imply somebody in the courtroom did something shady. Now, some prospective jurors said Diddy could buy his way out. This type of conspiracy is out there and this bought into it. That's Diddy's attorney, okay? And then his attorney goes on. They should have ended with when the fingerprint cards were destroyed. But they had to ask, did he authorize it? There's no way to unring this bail. The only proper remedy here is a mistrial. And the government said that's absolutely unwarranted. The government attorney says it was Mr. Agnifilio, which is Diddy's attorney, one of them, because he got a lot. But it was Diddy's attorney, Mr. Agnifilio, who wanted to inquire into the DNA, into the investigation. Your Honor, can just say the jury should not draw any inference from the destruction of the fingerprint card. And again, like I said yesterday, it's hard to tell jury, oh, you heard that, but act like you didn't hear that. You heard that, but don't take that into consideration when y'all, around the table chopping it up, trying to find out if somebody guilty or not guilty. It's hard for somebody when it's something big to be like, oh, jury, please dismiss that. Please wipe that from your memory. Come on now. This ain't Men in Black. You just can't take no pen and just point it at their direction and memory goes back. It don't happen like that. But anyway, the judge says application for a mistrial is denied with a capital D. Yes, he wanted a mistrial. Ha ha. Boy, this shit. Ooh-wee. This deserves to if they don't make this shit a movie, I wonder who would play. Who do y'all think should play Diddy? Who do y'all think should play Cassie? Who do y'all think should play Kid Cudi? I'm like, child. Anyway. So judge says I sustain the objections when raised. The jurors have already been told that questions are not evidence. So questions are not evidence. Okay. That's good to know because I'm not really into government and trials, and I'm not that knowledgeable on court and the law and stuff like that. So that's important to know, right? Questions, that what they said was the jurors have already been instructed that questions are not evidence. I guess only answers are evidence. Y'all know what I mean. So Diddy's attorney says, Your Honor, should you tell the juror that the questions were improper? The government says they weren't improper. You could say disregard both. Wouldn't y'all have wanted to be there to see them argue back and forth? This shit is entertaining, I'm telling y'all. So Diddy's attorney says, will the court tell the jurors that the answers are not to be considered? Like, basically, that's what the judge is trying to say, but they want him to specifically say, wash that out your mind, damn it. So the judge says, I'll tell them that the questions and answers on the fingerprints are irrelevant to the case and not to be considered. Diddy's attorney, thank you, Your Honor. All rise. So the juries enter back in. The judge says, jurors, the questions and answers on the fingerprints are irrelevant to this case and are not to be considered by you. Please proceed. So the government attorney goes on. Did you interview the owner of the Porsche? Scott McCuddy. Yes, I interviewed him. Did you reach out to the others? I reached out to an assistant. Her name was Capricorn. You know, Capricorn, the one we heard from yesterday. He said, I reached out to Capricorn, Diddy's assistant. Diddy's attorney said, I'm going to object. Oh, God, here we go. So the judge said, rephrase. Who did you reach out to? Capricorn and Cassie Ventura. Did Capricorn respond or assist? No. How did you reach out to Cassie? Wasn't able by phone. Tried through a family member. Did you reach her? Never. Were charges brought? No, but I never closed the case. It's listed as inactive. Nothing further from the government. And of course, Diddy's attorney wants to cross. So Diddy's attorney says there was a DNA hit on the glass bottle for female DNA, correct? Now, do y'all hear this shit? Do y'all hear this shit? Okay. He didn't want them discussing the DNA or the fact that anything could have been tampered with or something like that. But they proceed to keep talking about the DNA. Diddy's attorney proceeds. He wanted a mistrial because of the DNA. Then he proceeds to talk about the DNA. And it goes on for a minute. It goes on for a minute. But yeah, like, why would you bring up the DNA after you just you just demanded a mistrial? So anyway, y'all. All right, so he said there was a DNA hit on the glass bottle for female DNA, correct? Jimenez, the investigator, says yes. Do you remember when the results came back? Maybe 6 months. The test on the bottle, it was important? Yes. What does it mean, partial DNA female? The investigator says, I have no idea. I was told if we had a suspect, we could test against it. Diddy's attorney, any other DNA on the bottles? Objection from the government. The judge rephrased. Diddy's attorney talks about an exhibit, DX 852, just for the witness. They just want to show it to the witness. So Diddy's attorney says, that's a glove, right? Girl, is they about to say if the glove don't fit, we must acquit? Diddy's attorney said, that's a glove, right? And the fire investigator says, yes. Did you find another glove? No. Did you test the glove for DNA? No. I understood it belonged to the owner. It was a driving glove. Your premise was that mulatto cocktail was dropped. Did you think the person who dropped it could have worn a glove? Perhaps. It would have been hot. The fire investigator said only the wick. So Diddy's attorney said if a person wore the glove, it would be hot. And the fire investigator said, no, only the wick. Okay. So Diddy's attorney said the damage is on both sides of the bottle, right? Looks like it. Did Cuddy have more than one porch? Did I say porch? Did Cuddy have more than one porch? I think he had a second one in the garage. Why isn't it in your report? It was not involved. Why do they hold up? That don't make sense to me. Somebody make it make sense. Make it make sense. Why are they asking, did he have another Porsche? And why wasn't it in the report? Why does it matter if this is the Porsche that got caught on fire? Why does it matter what other vehicles the man got in his garage? I don't understand that part, but it was crazy. They didn't test the glove at the scene because they were told that it belonged to Cuddy. And it was a driving glove. And I guess some people do wear driving gloves. I never met anybody who drove a car with gloves, but But yeah, some people are saying that they think that the investigator knows a lot more and he can't say it because of the defense team objecting to every little thing. Either that or he was told to be quiet and was left out of the details for his own case by the corrupt police department. Allegedly. That's what I heard. Okay? That's just what I heard. But moving right along. So, Diddy's attorney, let me go back up. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Scroll. Okay, so back to the Porsche. Why wasn't it in your port? It was not involved. So then Diddy's attorney says, I'm just looking at all these pictures of people wearing gloves. They talking about the glove don't fit, we must have quit. So yeah, people is, playing around being funny on blogs. But anyway, Diddy's attorney says you were unable to reach Capricorn Clark or Cassie. When did Cassie reach out? Or when did you reach out? In the first few weeks. So he attempted to reach out to Cap and also Cassie in the first few weeks. Are you sure? Tell us everything about these calls. The fire detective says, or investigator, I believe Cap's brother answered and we disagreed. And Diddy's attorney says, and once Cuddy told you it was his glove, you didn't investigate the glove anymore, correct? I did not. Nothing further from Diddy's attorney. The judge offers a redirect, so the government comes back up. When did you speak with Mr. Cuddy? The same day. Nothing further from the government. Okay, now they about to call in Nash. So let me take me a little drink. Y'all make sure y'all take a drink. Make sure y'all liking and sharing this video for this good old content, this transcript from the Diddy trial, day 11. Okay, so they said next witness, the government calls Deontay Nash. Are you here under subpoena? Duh, isn't they all? But he says yes. Do you want to be here? Absolutely not. What was your work? Celebrity stylist. In 2008? Yes, for Puff and Cassie. How'd you get hired to work for them? Through a Craigslist ad for Bad Boy Entertainment. This photo, is it a fair and accurate portrayal of how you looked at that time? Not even close. It's a glamour photo? Yes, I look amazing. How often would you witness Diddy and Cassie interact? At least once a week. What did Diddy call Cassie? Bitch, hoe, CC, baby girl, slut. He would call it out. She would call her outright hoes a slut anyway. How does she react? Sad. Did Diddy make threats? Yes, that he would beat her ass, that he sent her sex tapes out. How often would he say he would beat her ass? Quite a few. It drove her crazy. She would be super emotional. She might stay in the house for days. How often did Diddy say you could not go out without his permission? Twice. The first time we went to a gay club with Kyle and Adrian. Then we went to her LA apartment. Puff called and told her she better bring her ass to the house, and she panicked. What did you understand Diddy was saying? Objection from Diddy's attorney. Judge overruled. Nash. She packed her stuff and went to her house. Did you attend a Vanity Fair party? Yes. Oscars after party in 2014 with Cassie, and Puff was there. How did she look? She looked bomb. Her hair was objection. Judge overruled. Her hair was long. Puff picked me up and threatened me. I pinned her hair up. She did record music? Often. What was your role? I helped pick songs. I probably should have been called an executive. Objection. Judge sustained. Her mixtape, was it ever sold? No, it was put out for free. But it did well. It was a top download. How much of her music was released? I'm being generous to say 10%. This would be a good place to take a break. That's from the government attorney. The judge says, jurors, you may break. The jurors leave. Nash leaves. Everybody leave. Okay. So the judge says to the government attorney, what he'll say about 2013 is not about the tapes. And the attorney says no. So the judge says, okay, let's all take a break. Now, when they came back, before the jury and the witness, Nash, was brought back in, the government said, we want to show Mr. Nash a photo of this afternoon's witness, Maya, without the screen in the gallery showing the photograph. The judge said, bring back in Mr. Nash and then the jury. All rise. The government says, how many times in person have you witnessed Diddy be violent? Nash, quite a few. This is a sealed exhibit. Without saying her name, do you recognize this person? We'll call Maya. Yes. What were you and Maya helping Cassie pack for? To OVO Fest in Canada. Who came to the door? Puff. He said, bitch, didn't I tell you to answer your phone? Then he dragged her by her hair and hit her. How hard was he hitting her? Objection from Diddy's attorney. Judge overruled. Nash says, very hard. We went to the bedroom, but Puff pushed it open. He continued to attack Cassie with his fist. What did you do to try to help Cassie? I jumped on Puff's back. He threw me off. Maya too. Nash said Cassie's head hit the bed frame. She was bleeding, but Puff continued hitting her. And where was Maya? Getting towels. What did Diddy say to you, Maya and Cassie? He said, look what y'all made me do. He said she'd go to a plastic surgeon. So you bust her head to the white meat. And then say, oh, I can get you a plastic surgeon. What up, what up, what up? No. Hey, Ruth Shaker, what's shaking, baby? What's shaking? What's poppin', sis? But yes, honey, he done bust her head to the white meat show and then said, oh, I just get your ass an old nasty piece of plastic surgery. I got the money to do it. And when they do it, it's going to be confidential because a lot of shit has been confidential in his life or kept in the circle, including when he overdosed the same month as the beautiful Whitney Houston, rest in peace. I still can't believe that. That shit didn't get out at all. That's how secretive. I tell y'all, these are societies. But some of y'all say, no. These are secret societies. Secret communities. It's like those movies where people live in this bubble. And anybody outside of that bubble, you don't talk to. They don't know what's going on in your bubble. And or like the Mormons, like, you know, they live out there in the woods and the hills and all that kind of shit. And they don't go past that tree. You know how your parents, when you little, don't you go past that tree. Don't you go past that street light. You better stay where I can see you. Yeah. But anywho, he told her ass he can get her a surgeon. The government said with who? And that said D-Rock, he was Puffy security. After that, when did you see her? The next day. FaceTime or something like that. She had a gash in her eyebrow. Were you once cooking with Cassie when Diddy got violent? Yes. Puff came. What did Diddy say? He said, y'all better get out of my house. He was grabbing her by the hair. He pushed her out the door, then began to do the same to me. But I don't have hair. He popped me. He told me to go downstairs and wait. Then came down and Puff was beating us. As we drove off, we got a phone call. Objection. Judge, new question. Call from who? Puff. He told us to stop and he came to the window. He said he put her sex tapes on the internet. Damn. Like he threatened her continually about the sex tapes and everybody heard it. That's coercion. If y'all know that's one of the things on the indictment is coercion. Keeping Cassie in check by threatening to put out the sex tapes of the freak-offs. Nash, and don't forget, he told her mama and daddy to send him $20,000 or he was going to put it out. He did return the money 3 days later, but that ain't the point. That rich motherfucker, he made them take out a whole fucking loan on their house. That is ruthless. That's evil. That's pure evil. But anyway, Nash continued on. Puff said he sent her sex tapes to her parents' job and get them fired. That her brother was a bitch and that only he protected her. And what did you tell her? That Puff is on the sex tapes too. He said he's not. He was taping her with other men. Cassie said Diddy wasn't on no tapes. It was just her with other men. The government said, what did she say about wanting or not wanting to have sex with other men? Objection from Diddy's attorney. Judge overruled. Nash said that she didn't want to. I drove her to Sunset Boulevard to get a taxi. Why? Uber wasn't really a thing yet. Puff came to my house looking for her. He looked in my oven. I'm not sure why. Puff took my phone and called Cassie from a hotel. Puff said, let's go there. Bad boy stay staffed there. What did Diddy say? He said, go get her. Nash says, I went to Cassie's hotel room with D-Rock and Tony. She jumped up. She was frightened. She said she would jump off the balcony. Oh my God. They said, how high was it? It wasn't the first floor. Downstairs, I saw 4 or 5 of Puff security waiting. Child, how many floors was it for her to threaten to commit the S word? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Let me take a sip. Dude said it wasn't the first floor. He probably don't remember which floor, but it's probably high up there. You know, that's what I'm thinking. But anyway. And thanks you guys for tuning in. The ones who are in here, in the house, in the hood with me, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure y'all like and share the video. So after he said that, Puff told me, you played me. I drove off, but Puff security followed me. I turned off my lights and drove really fast. I went to the Universal Sheraton. Did you get back home? Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Did you go home the next day? Yes, I found my backpack was stolen. It had $1,000 in it. Why did you keep $1,000 cash? So when Puff was mad, I could check into a hotel without giving my name. What happened in 2015? I saw Puff slap Cassie in her face. He said, get this bitch out of here. What did you do? Got her out. The attorney said, the perfect match premiere. What did you see? Cassie had a black eye. When was Diddy violent with you at a music video? Yes, I was outside smoking a cigarette. Diddy came and threw me on the car and started choking me out. Puff said, y'all keep going out. The attorney said, did you report anything to the police? No, I was afraid of retaliation from Puff. Did you get anyone on staff? Christina Coram, remember KK, she was like his number one, Diddy's number one, the one super, super close to him, the one that everybody claims she would always throw other people under the bus who worked for him so she could stay like the closest to Diddy. That's what they say, allegedly. So they said, what did KK say? That she would talk to him. Did anything change? No. How often did you help Cassie hide? Often. What did Diddy do? He would blow our phones up. KK would too. She would say Puff was calm. Cassie would go back. Did Cassie tell you she was going to a hotel with Diddy? Yes, weekly she would pack sex toys. Did she say she wanted to go? Objection. Judge overruled. She said she didn't want to go. Her 29th birthday. Tell me about it. That's the attorney for the government. Nash says Puff asked me should he surprise her on her birthday. What did you say? Girl, I was not about to tell him not to surprise her. Did you use the word freak off with you? Not the freak off, more like freak off. So, like a verb. Okay, not freak off, but more like freak off. I don't know. They said like a verb. You say yes. Where did you go after the blind dragon? 875 Comstock, like 17A. Diddy said y'all gonna get some dick tonight. Ooh. What did Cassie say? Ooh. Diddy said they about to get some dick tonight. What did Cassie say? That she didn't want to go, but he made her. They left the house. She was super high. New Year's Eve 2017. Where were you? With Cassie and the staff, all on the same floor of the hotel. Puff's room was at the end of the hall. What did Diddy tell you? That Cassie had been asleep for 24 hours and I had to wake her up. I had to wake her up. Did she wake up? She woke up for me. What did Diddy say? That he spent all the money, so she had to get up. Now we do recollect, right? We do recollect how one of the prostitutes, the escorts, dancers, how they had testified that there was times when Cassie would be so high or so tired or beat up and in pain that she would just sleep and sleep and sleep. And Diddy would get so pissed because he paid for people to have sex with her. And she couldn't perform because she was either tired or high. So I just have to make sure I brought that back to y'all recollection. So, he said she woke up for me. Diddy said he spent all his money, so she has to get up. Then there was a low budget producer, and then it laughs. The government says, how many of your meetings with prosecutors did you end early? Nash says, probably all of them. Did you stay in touch with Diddy? Yes. What was your tone? Loving. Why? I don't hate him. It's not in me. No further questions from the government. The judge says, let's take a break. So before the jury comes back in, the government says this witness has a flight back to LA tonight. We'll rebook if we have to, but if we could stay a little later and finish with him, I know he'd appreciate it. The judge says, I think we can. I told the juror we might stay until 4. So the juror comes back. The judge says, we might stay until 4 p.m., Mr. Donaldson, talking to one of Diddy's attorney. Diddy's attorney crosses. How are you? Nash, blessed. When you met with the government, you had an attorney present? Yes. The subpoena didn't mean you had to go to their office, right? You hired a civil attorney, a civil lawyer, Mr. Dunn, to represent you, considering litigation against Diddy? No. Does this document show that? It's their assumption, but no, I have counsel to protect me. I don't do federal court. Do any of us want to do federal court? Diddy's attorney goes on March 10th, 2025, did you not tell Mr. Comey that you are considering a civil complaint against Diddy? Nash, no. Exhibit DX 1800, what is this? Cassie in the video for the mixtape. And Exhibit 1801, Cassie and Usher. This is the 2016 Bad Boy reunion show. Diddy's attorney, did you pick out the dress? Nash, I don't remember. You didn't start as a celebrity stylist? It was at Diddy introduced you to Cassie, right? I met her, Mrs. Fine, which is Cassie's new last name. Diddy's attorney, so it's Diddy who made you a celebrity stylist. Nash says, sure, go ahead. Diddy's attorney says, I am going ahead. As a celebrity stylist, you pick clothes like for Diddy's and for Cassie's wedding. Nash says, yes. Did you know Groovy Lou? Yes. As head of Bad Boy, it was in Diddy's interest that his artist Cassie looked good, right? I suppose. And Bad Boy paid for Cassie's studio time, right? Yes. Cassie can't go to the studio under Diddy's pay unless Diddy pays, right? Diddy's attorney says, what is Young and Reckless? Nash said it's a streetwear clothing brand. Cassie owned a part of it. Diddy had nothing to do with it? Nash, he had to approve everything. Wasn't Bana, which is Brianna Bonglican, involved? Nash says yes, as a hairstylist. Who else were you styling for in 2016? Nash says Cassie, Puff, Mace, and Little Kim. The attorney says major artists. And on the mixtape, you were executive producer but got no credit? Meek Mill was on the mixtape? Nash says yes. The attorney says Pusha T? Nash says yes. Nash says, can I take a break? The judge says yes. So the judge asks Mr. Donaldson, which is Diddy's attorney, how much more? Donaldson says, no way, I'll be finished by 4. The judge said, did you know that before I told the jury it'll be 4? Donaldson, I didn't know. The judge said, well, we'll go to 4. So the attorney says, I'll rebook. So they're going to rebook Nash so he could come back, which they were trying to prevent because who wants to be flued out from a subpoena to court in New York twice? You don't want to do it once, but twice. So anyway, they went to break. They came back. Diddy's attorney says, nice coat. Nash, thank you. Donaldson says, what size? Nash says, not your size. Ain't he a little snappy? Diddy's attorney says, right answer. Diddy was the final decision making, right? Nash, no, some of them look terrible. You are friends with Cassie? Yes. When's the last time you spoke with Bana? Yesterday. Not about testimony, right? Right. She saw it on the news. When you speak to Cassie? Yesterday. I congratulated her on having her baby. Congratulations, Cassie, having the baby. I'm glad she was able to keep healthy too and the baby during this trial. So this can be very stressful. Pregnant, about due, and you got to go through this. So yeah, congratulations, Cassie, on the new baby. Diddy said you saw her take drugs. Hey KJ, what's up? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please make sure y'all like and share the video. We about to wrap this up. I think I got a little bit left to read of the transcripts for today. But let's see. Okay, so Diddy's attorney Donald said you saw her take drugs. Nash said cocaine, ecstasy, and MDMA, and that's like Molly's. Donaldson says mushroom and acid. Nash says I'm not like privy to all that. The attorney says not to get into your business. You have used cocaine. Nash says yes. The attorney says, you smoke pot before meeting prosecutors? Nash said yes, and Marine cut it short. Remember they asked him the other day, have you been cutting your time short with the prosecuting attorneys? And he said yes. So I guess he too high to stay for the whole meeting. The whole... He at least he ain't lying. I know he on the stand. I know he under oath, but he said, yep, I was high, and Marine cut it short. You told her you were high? Yep, that I was smoking. Child. So Diddy's attorney says, making a video costs hundreds of $1,000s. Nash says, not necessarily. How you gonna get high before meeting with the prosecutors? Like, and people are supposed to take you seriously as a witness? Not saying he's lying about anything because everybody's story damn near collaborates with everybody else. So it's not like any of the people on here are telling us anything that we haven't already heard. You know, people are still like, where's the Rico? Where's the Rico? We keep hearing about how he dog walk, monkey stomp, and mollywop Cassie every other day and other people. It was threatening to, release her sex tapes to the world and to her parents and get her parents fired and all that. We heard about him being a bully and being evil and being a monster, but where's the Rico? People are still like, where's the Rico? Now the prosecution said they got like 2 weeks left. So in these last 2 weeks, I guess they basically been building up, painting Diddy as this awful, horrible person before they get into the rest. That's what it looks like. Okay. So Diddy's attorney says, who was Maya? Nash says Puff's assistant. You and Maya jumped on Diddy to protect Cassie from him, right? Nash says, and to protect him from doing something worse. And D-Rock tried to protect you and not protect Diddy? Yes. That's when the judge says, okay, we're at 4 p.m. The judge says, who are the witnesses after Maya? The attorney says, we think she will go long, but after her, Enrique Santos. The judge says, after today, Mr. Agnif, damn. Puffy's attorneys, they names. After today, the judge told Diddy's attorney, Mr. Agnifilio, give you exhibits by 5. Agnifilio says we only get back to the office by then. So Agnifilio, Diddy's attorney, said, you think your honor could let us meet with Diddy in the SCIF here in the courtroom under your Article 3 powers? We like the SCIF every night until 10 p.m. With the lawyers, they was arguing, about if they could meet with Diddy in the SCIF. The judge says no. The government says we are still ahead of schedule. We may even cut some witnesses. So they're thinking about cutting some witnesses. Why would you cut some witnesses? From the prosecutors, y'all. Hell, I mean, we want to hear everything these people got to say. Shoot, these some serious ass charges, and y'all thinking about cutting some witnesses? You said I'm so late. I don't even know who Nash is. I didn't either. I guess I was one of Diddy's assistants. He had a lot of them. But the man did have like a damn empire, Bad Boy Records, clothing lines, alcohol, all kind of other shit. He had people underneath him, artists. So yeah, I would imagine he probably had a whole bunch of assistants. Um, you said they must be feeling confident. Yes, that's what people are saying. They are saying that the prosecutors are feeling really confident and that they think they can cut some of their witnesses. And then I guess you can look at it like, well, they are all basically saying the same thing. He whooped her ass, threatened her with sex tapes. She was always high. I mean, they're literally saying the same thing. All the witnesses. They're collaborating everybody's story. So I guess they are feeling confident. Pretty much. So the judge says, okay, adjourn, let everybody go. But yeah, they said the prosecutor's case, I guess they think is pretty solid. Do y'all think that the prosecutor, that this could be a mistake cutting some of the witnesses? Do you think we should hear from the rest of the witnesses? Do you think they should be so confident that they got it in the bag? I don't know about cutting them witnesses. I don't know, child. But we shall see. We shall see. Whew. Anyway, that was a lot. These last few days, the transcripts has been pretty lengthy, but we have been getting some really juicy information, even though it seems like a lot of this stuff we already heard. We already heard he busted her in the head. We already heard about the fire. We already heard, the threats. So, but it's still pretty interesting. Can we talk about what RICO charges really mean one day, or have you done that? Are there many more charges? As far as all the charges that he's facing, hold on. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me scroll all the way up through my notes. Okay. Ooh, my stomach growling. Okay, so there's racketeering, of course, coercion, sex trafficking, arson. What else? Fraud. Okay, so he's facing multiple counts of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transporting for prostitutions. So that's basically it. And that's what the RICO is for. The racketeering, prostitution, fraud. Oh, and they also say arson. Sex trafficking. And what's the sex trafficking? That's basically moving Cassie all around the world and I. He had her doing freak offs in the United States and across the country, like outside of the country. And he would fly in prostitutes in the United States and he would fly them outside of the country. So that's where the trafficking comes from. Yep. It sounds pretty much like trafficking to me. I don't know, child, but I mean, this case is so big. I'm just looking forward to find out if the prosecutors, if they believe their case is that powerful to find him guilty of all these things, or if the jury is just going to be like, oh, okay, we found him guilty for this, but not for that. I don't know. But you said, hold on, let me read your comments. Let me get a drink. Oh, excuse me. Y'all, my stomach is growling. Did I eat today? Oh yeah, I ate breakfast. That was around like 8:30. Yeah, I ate breakfast around 8:30. I should have ate some lunch because my stomach. I hope y'all don't hear my stomach growling. That'd be embarrassing. But yeah, I am hungry. What am I gonna eat? I don't know what I'm gonna eat, y'all. But yeah, they talk about fraud. As far as the fraud, I'm not really sure. I'm honestly not really sure when it comes to the fraud. I don't know. If I find out, I'll let you know. I don't know. But yeah, if y'all know, fill me in. You said I wonder if the free calls took place at his home, would it be considered trafficking? If it took place, yeah. And see, that's what I explained to people last week. Trafficking, it can be anywhere. It can be in your house and only in your house. It could be in the basement of your house, in the bedroom, in the bathroom. It could be you got somebody in a hotel and that person is there 24, 25/8, and they never leave that hotel room. But if you bringing people in to have sex with them, paying people to have sex with them, prostitutes, different things like that, is trafficking. You don't have to move 1 foot out of a house, whether it's your house or somebody else's house or a hotel or what, to be considered trafficking. It's all about the act and not more about the place. Yep, coercion is definitely forcing her parents. And then talking about, ooh, did you see? See, not only did he make them send him $20,000, but he also threatened to get her parents fired by sending the tapes to their job. Now, if you see people like that, there is a special, special place in hell for people like that. And the thing about it is, he has family, he has children, baby mamas. I'm pretty sure that a lot of them knows what kind of character he is. Now they say he does have like a Jekyll and Hyde personality, but I don't think he's that good to keep everything from his children. Like I I couldn't imagine having a parent like that. This is so embarrassing. Like every time these celebrities or anybody, it could be Blow Joe next door, you get in trouble with the law for some bullshit like this, kidnapping or anything like this, to mess with kids or mess with victims or people who can't defend themselves, and your family and kids find out about it. Like, how can you live with that? Because it's the family and kids who get it the most, especially if they still in school or if they have real jobs. Like all you got to hear all the time at work or at school, your daddy's nasty, your daddy's this, your daddy's a freak, your daddy this, your like you got to take your kids out of school. You can't even move into a new district because everybody. You can't even move into another country because everybody knows. So that's pretty sad, when the family members and the kids, but then again, there were certain allegations that his boys, a few of his boys was in on certain things. Y'all remember the Cuba Gooding Jr.? Okay. Y'all remember those accusations? Sure, yeah. So it's accusations out there that the boys, one or two of them could have had some type of involvement, participation. So I don't know. Those are allegations. Those are allegations. But that's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. I'm gonna get off of here and put something in my belly. Sure, put something in my belly. Maybe I'll just make me a lunch meat sandwich or maybe I'll pop some popcorn. It's kind of getting late in the evening, 6 o'clock. That's what time it is here, 6 o'clock. Maybe I'll just make me a bowl of popcorn, sit back and watch me some television. But I just started this new series. I already watched Forever, and if y'all follow my community wall post, I have made a post because my niece has once again got one of her songs on a TV show, which is the newest show that she got one of her songs on is Forever. And it's a Netflix series. It's brand new. It's only been out like a month or so. I love that movie. I love the movie. Not just because my niece's joint is on there, because you know how they play songs in the background on TV shows and movies. It might be 30 seconds of a song or a minute of a song that you hear in the background, or they might play it while they at the club. You know how production companies, they do. We watching these reality shows. They got music playing in the club or music playing in my car or music. That's what she does. She's a talented artist, and not only is she signed to a label, but she also has her music on this particular with this particular company. So any and everybody who's a producer, a writer, television uh creator of TV shows, reality shows, movies, whatever, they go to this board and look up all these songs and they listen to songs that people recommend. And if they find one and they pick your song to be on their show, that's lit. Like, that is so lit. We are so proud of her. I was just with my niece the other day. At my godmother's house. We was over there for my godmom's birthday. And we was over there and we just so proud of her. So very proud of her. She's also about to get married, by the way. And I told you I was supposed to be making her wedding cake. She asked me to make her wedding cake. She was like, I can't ask nobody but Auntie. Okay. So yes, I'm very, very proud of her. But yeah, season 1, episode 4. If you go to my community wall, you can click the link and actually listen to the song that I'm talking about, y'all. So go to my community wall and look for where I'm typing or where I'm talking about my niece, and you just click on that link and you can actually hear the song that I'm referring to. But it's season 1, episode 4. And if you watch the show, basically you hear her song Easier Done. It's at the point where Justin arrives to Keisha's house and they start making out and heading for the bedroom. That's where you hear that song. And that's her, my niece. That's her. So, yep. So proud of her, as always. So very proud. And thank you, KJ. I really appreciate. Yes, it's so huge. Man, she got songs on All American. I'm talking like all the major TV shows. And it's crazy because no shade, no tea. But most of the producers are like, most of the shows are like mostly all black or all African American. I don't know if that's a coincidence or no, but like Tyler Perry got one of her songs on Sisters, the TV show Sisters. And that's primarily an all black cast. All American is primarily an all black cast. Forever is primarily all. You see where I'm going? And she got other songs on other shows as well. So I don't know if that's just a coincidence or I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, but yeah, I'm about to get off of here. I'll probably pop me some popcorn and sit around here and watch this show. So the show that I'm watching right now is on Max, and it's called, hold up, matter of fact, let me turn on my TV because I don't want to be wrong. Let me go to Max because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But somebody at my job suggested it in our group chat for my job. They said, you guys, if you're looking for something good to binge watch, you need to watch this show. It is about doctors, and it's called The Pit. That's it. It's called The Pit. And if you look up The Pit, hold on, let me hit mute on the TV. I don't want no copyright. Okay, The Pit TV series. Okay, so the description on here is The Pit is an American medical procedural drama television series. It deals with medical drama. So some of y'all like those medical drama shows. So it centers around the medical field. These doctors, these nurses, interns at a hospital that basically is understaffed and it has a shortage of doctors. It's located in Pittsburgh. Not really, but you know how movies are, TV shows. That's where the fictional location is. It's in Pittsburgh. And each episode of the season covers approximately 1 hour of their work shift. And it's realistic portrayals of healthcare workers addressing the psychological challenges faced in a post-pandemic world. So it's basically a story, a medical drama story about psychological challenges they face in a post-pandemic world. So this is like kind of like, after the Rona, how they dealing with these hospitals understaffed. They got a lot of people, a lot of sick people, injured people. And I watched only one episode so far, and I was drawn in. So I'm gonna sit here with my little popcorn, and I'm gonna watch some more of it this evening. But yeah, if you're looking for something to watch, yeah, you said it's on your list too. You said I'm watching From America to Africa. Oh, I haven't checked that one out yet. Okay, let me put that on my list too. Matter of fact, I'm gonna screenshot this. Sometimes I screenshot stuff from the chat so I can make sure I have it saved so I can go back to refer because my memory is bad, y'all. My memory is bad. I'm getting old. But okay, so I'm going to go ahead and watch The Pit tonight. And KJ said there's another one that they've been watching on Max From America to Africa. So that might be a good choice for you guys also. But if you haven't watched Forever on Netflix, I kid you not, it's everything in a bag of chips. Okay, and some ho-hos and honey buns. Okay, it's super, super, super good, super dope. The characters, the black female character in the love story, the young girl, she plays a young girl. She plays a teenager in high school. You know her. As soon as you see her, you know her, you recognize her. Now the guy, I never seen him before. He's probably, starred in TV shows or acted in TV shows before, but I didn't recognize the guy. But it's a cute little couple, girl, guy, that little high school love. They are some serious serious situations that they go through, family issues, trauma bonding. It's so good. Yes, you won't regret it. You better tell them, KJ, you will not regret it if you watch Forever, new on Netflix. Okay, I need y'all to get on there and show some love, because my niece who got some of her songs on there, they get money every time those reality shows plays, every time the movies play, every time you get the yes in the credits, baby, in the credits. But yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I told my son the other day. Now my son's 24, but I told him, I said that'd be a great show, because you know how some couples are, whether you're old or whether you're young. Some couples, they have a TV show that they only watch together. They get upset if you go ahead of them. Yeah, so him and his girl, they have shows that they like, and sometimes they'll recommend shows to me, and sometimes I'll recommend shows to them. And I'll tell his girl, if y'all ain't watching this, so I'll tell him, tell your girl about this. So yeah, we do that around here. We like always recommend movies and different things like that. So yeah, I told my son about it. He's like, okay, mom, I'm gonna get into it. But yeah, it was real good. And then when he heard that my niece Danny was in there, aka Thailand Music, like he was like, oh, that's what's up. Cousin there on that one too. She got her joints on that one too. Yeah. So yep. But anyway, let me get off of here. I can talk to y'all forever. Y'all know I can go on and on and on to the break of dawn. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us today for day 11 of the Diddy trial. Again, we had some LAPDs on there. We had some fire investigators on there. We had Nash on there as one of the stylists who testified, who they are going to bring back because they couldn't finish with him and he has a flight out tonight. I think tomorrow they're supposed to have Maya, maybe Jordan, the chef. I'm not too sure who's all going to be on the stand tomorrow, but they said it's going to be a pretty long day. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new here. Feel free to donate to the Cash App or the Super Chat if you want to donate to the commentary. I love you guys. Stay safe. Be blessed. Remain vigilant at all times. And always remember to keep it hood. Y'all already know. I'm out. Bye. Bye, KJ.